Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
We've all heard of Bloody Mary.
Yeah, there was a Bloody Mary rife in middle school.
Is this where you look in the mirror and say Bloody Mary?
I'll explain it, but we'll start with a little story about how Bloody Mary came to be.
Oh.
Apparently.
Right.
Not the origin, but this is the story behind it, or one of many ways to tell the story.
Right, okay, cool.
So, a long time ago, there was a little girl called Mary.
Oh,
That's a good start. I mean, I believe that.
Yeah, and it's fucking scary.
It's pretty scary. She grew very ill and fell into a deep coma. The local doctor was old and feeble, and without knowing any better, he believed Mary was dead. He informed the family and they had a funeral to lay her to rest. Mary's family lived close to the graveyard where she was buried. On the first night, Mary's mother thought she could hear muffled screaming coming from Mary's grave, but nobody believed her as they knew she was grieving.
One, why you wouldn't be able to, if you've buried her at the 6 feet mark, which is standard, industry standard, I think they say, you wouldn't be able to hear the muffled. No way would you be able to hear the muffled.
Well, depends on how loud they're screaming.
No way could you hear it. I don't think you could. All that soil.
I think so.
Imagine how dense that would be. And secondly, why is she still with the grave? Why is she still at the grave in the night time?
No, it said they lived near it.
Oh, exactly.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
So they're not even in the vicinity.
Moving on. Okay, a few days later, Mary's mother convinced the family to dig up Mary's grave.
Oh.
They found Mary dead, but there were scratch marks inside the lid of the coffin, and her fingernails were covered in blood from where she'd tried to escape from the grave.
What did she think, like scratching through it? Even if you get through the layer of coffin, which is going to be a fucking mission to do, the dirt's going to come in then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what would you do in that situation? You're panicking. You've just woken up from a coma and you're trapped inside. She doesn't know she's in a coffin, does she? It's pitch black. She's just woken up. She can't move. She doesn't know where she is.
Yeah.
So she's not thinking,
right.
I've got to get through soil afterwards. She's thinking, I've been locked in something.
Fair enough. Go on, Mary.
Okay, so that is the story of Bloody Mary. That's how she died, apparently.
Yeah.
But the actual urban legend itself...
Sorry. Right?
Yeah.
So she's in a coma. She's
Buried alive.
Buried alive.
she's got a bit of blood on her fingernails. I think giving her the title Bloody Mary is really focusing on
But
something
also,
tiny.
how does she go from being in a coffin with bloody fingernails to in people's mirrors?
So I'll now explain that. So the bloody side of things
is an
because of how
over-exaggeration.
it's not necessarily from the story. There's loads of different ways you can tell that story. Sometimes I think she's been to prom and someone kills. Like there's so many different things. Yeah, there's so many different stories behind Bloody Mary that it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
But the thing everyone knows of it is that
Mary.
It was a
if
bloody
you-
good drink.
if you follow these instructions,
Tomato juice.
if you follow the instructions, you'll have a chance to see Mary for yourself.
Yeah.
So it's apparently, in this version at least, at midnight, you have to turn off all of the lights in your house. And you go to the bathroom with just a candle lit. You look into the mirror and say Bloody Mary 3 times. She'll appear behind you in the mirror and she'll scream the same way she was trapped in the grave. You must quickly blow out the candle and turn on the light or she will kill you.
Oh, bollocks.
So that's the classic thing of the Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary.
Bet you
Bloody
wouldn't do
Mary.
it, though.
I wouldn't do it.
See?
It is. So it's not bollocks then, is
Because I think even if this is the whole ghost thing one more time,
If there's the slightest chance.
0.00001% chance that's real, I am not going to gain anything from doing it.
That's
If
true.
you went to me, if you do it, there's a chance you'll get a tenner. I'll go, all right, I'll do it then, because I might get a tenner. But
Give you a
there's
tenner if you do it.
There's never. Will you give me a tenner if I go home and do it?
Actually, no, don't do it in our house, please.
See, but
He's not even willing to risk that being in his own house.
So this is the version in front of the mirror. There's many that say if you just say it 5 times out in the open, it can make her follow you home or something.
Well, you just said it 3 times.
With this one, when I was in middle school, there was like a Bloody Mary epidemic. Like everyone was like allegedly trying the Bloody Mary thing in the toilets and that, and like there were kids like crying and that. We had to have an assembly where the head teacher was like, you guys need to stop doing this because it's ridiculous and it's upsetting people and blah 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 blah. So it's like, you know, like Yu-Gi-Oh cards are in fashion and Beyblades. We had Bloody Mary for a bit. Yeah.
I remember that.
Welcome to Yarmouth.
What the fuck kind of school do you go to?
I know, mate.
See,
I know,
I've
mad.
actually done this.
You've done it?
Oh, really?
Not by the candlelight, because
There's plenty of ways you can do
I
it.
switched off the light in the toilets and I've actually done it
When?
when I was at middle school.
How was
So
she?
it's a middle school thing, you see?
What, were you on your own?
Yeah, someone dared me to do it, so I just did it.
And he's here now. So
Yeah, so I take
fucking gave her a right hook. Didn't I?
she hasn't been seen since.
Oh dear.
So
she was just married before he met her. So your experience of it, was you scared when you were doing it?
Not really.
Did anything happen after?
Well, I'll turn the light back on. Nothing happened. It was.
Oh, fair.
So-
I didn't have the balls to do it in
No.
middle
Would
school.
you now?
Nah, I wouldn't fuck with it. What's the point? Like you say, what's the benefit?
What if I give you a tenner?
Nah, tenner's not enough.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
I'll do it for £1.
There we go. You've done it for nothing, Lance.
I'll pay you to do it.
Oh, no.
the mirror.
I
So
probably wouldn't even do it for a oneer, I don't think.
this one
For a oneer?
for a one.
I don't know, because what if I do it, and then she's there, and then I don't get to the fucking light, and I die for the sake of £100.
The chances of that happening, right, really is zero. Really, right?
Yeah.
But you're saying there could be a slight possibility, so therefore
So
it'd
I
be
don't wanna risk dying for
0.00000 infinite 1,
Yeah.
right? Which I know isn't a number, but still. So, but the chances of you getting a oneer off me is 100%. So you wouldn't gamble nothing against 0.001 to win.
Oh, mate.
Will it help?
I'll think about it.
I don't think he's actually
Persuade him.
offering. Would you give him 100 to do it?
I would probably say I'd give it to him just to see if he'd do it, and then I wouldn't give him the money.
See, just not 100%.
No, but you
In
would
my
believe
mind.
it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me give you the origin behind it,
Okay,
and then
cool.
that might make you feel like, oh, actually, it doesn't really matter.
It's like if I now said to you,
He really isn't letting us go.
no, it's like if I said to you, right, Man City, right, are now playing the Luton Town one player from Luton Town, right? That's 11v1, right? And so there's 0.00001% chance, right?
That's generous.
Right, you can win £100, right, if Man City win that game. But if the Luton player outscores all 11,
Yeah.
you'll
Killed.
die. You'll die. That's £100 you got.
Yeah.
But you still wouldn't take it, would you?
No. Well, I don't know.
How's Barry from Luton gonna fucking take it?
What if there's some sort of conspiracy against me, and then all the 11 fucking players stand still, and all of a sudden...
True. I've actually given all the Man City players £100.
That's it.
That's what Man City players need. Money.
David Silver's got £100. You know how much that transplant costs? I can recoup a bit.
Someone's going to die if you... No.
Sorry.
So, Bloody Mary is obviously one of the most well-known ones. You all knew roughly about it. So much so that obviously everyone in America knows it.
Yeah.
In Japan, it's known as Hanako-san.
Ooh.
That sounds better.
Exactly the same thing. However, there is a reason why it's in a mirror. So the origin is actually that historically, women were encouraged to walk up the stairs backwards, holding nothing but a mirror and a lit candle. And as they're walking backwards, what they're meant to be able to catch in the view of the mirror is the face of their future husband. However, sometimes what they could see is a skull or the Grim Reaper, meaning that they die before they ever get married.
Oh, shit. So
it's just a massive tradition thing. You know how like being married back in the day used to be like if you don't get married. Yeah, so that's pretty much all the origin of it is. It's just that.
But how does that apply to Bloody Mary?
Yeah.
It's just linked to it. So that's how like using that they've linked it to the whole mirror thing.
That's weird because then that ties in nicely to the would you know your death. Like if you could look in a mirror and it would show you your future wife, or it'd show you a Grim Reaper, meaning what you just said, would you do it?
Yeah, I just don't see the point.
No.
Because then I guess in their minds, they then actively look for this specific man.
Yeah.
So if they ever get with anyone else, they go, it's not your face I saw in the mirror. And then they'll probably end up dying alone anyway, because I've said no to so many men.
True. Let me ask you this then. Would you, because a lot of people, when I say, would you know your death date, if you could, they all say no.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a boring question now. You have to pick one or the other. You know your death cause or your cause of death or your death date. What would you choose? And you can't change any. So if it says you're going to die in a plane crash, you can't then not ever get on a plane. Like you're. Let's pretend life is set out. Why would you what?
If they're like, then again, Yeah, because it could be misleading. Because it'd be like, oh, plane crash. And then you're like, well, fuck that. I'm not getting on a plane again. And then we're driving to the podcast
And
one
a plane
day,
crashes into
understand
you.
steady.
Yeah.
Bam,
Yeah, you
right
can't
there.
change it. Stevie,
So death date or
cause of death.
I'd take cause of death.
Would you?
Yeah, because at least that way it could just happen whenever. It might happen
old
when
age.
it could be in a plane crash when I'm 98.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Whereas if I suddenly find out that I'm going to die next week, I'm like, great.
Yeah, but then what if it said like heart attack in podcast studio? You'd be shitting yourself every Monday.
Make for great viewing.
Yeah, it would
I
actually.
would.
We're definitely keeping it.
Yeah.
What do you do, Loz?
I think I'd rather know when I'm going to die.
Really?
This one, yeah.
Wow.
Rather than how.
I can see where you're coming from.
I can't
Because
see the
I don't-
appeal to that.
I don't see, for me personally, I don't see the appeal of knowing how you're going to die, but not when.
Right. Yeah.
But if you switch it the other way around,
I see what you mean. But then what would you do? What would you genuinely do if it said like Christmas Day 2019? Would you?
know.
Actually,
Get a
kind of
few
back.
bags in.
Yeah. Backtracking on what you've just said, every time I come to the studio, I'd be in fear. Whereas if I knew I wasn't dying for another 3 years, I'd just live as happy as I could until then. So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
I think there's pros and cons of both.
I would count down every day though, and that would fucking do me in.
I'd be looking forward to it. What about you, Jordan?
I think I would go for date.
Mad.
Purely because I wouldn't want to be told the big C. I think.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be
That's
told
what.
that.
Yeah, that's what puts me off.
Yeah.
Car crash.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Chlamydia.
No. Coma, then buried alive. Fuck.
Yeah.
Bloody Jordan.
Exciting.